imagination.
See ya.
Well, similar. Oh, look, he's on good too.
He wasn't. I don't know how he is now. He wasn't very young on it for a while. The last I knew, he was back playing golf some. But he wasn't too old.
If it's easier just to skip the open, do you have any problem with the commercial law? Well, that's another thing we can't
ABC Sports presents John Glenn High School Basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med and Whitesides of Cambridge. Since 1952, Southeastern Med has been your community hospital, providing comprehensive, affordable, and patient-centered care for you and your family. Southeastern Med is a proud supporter of our local youth and their involvement in athletics.
Advanced, patient-centered orthopedic care. The precise treatment you need. Because balancing your life is so much easier with orthopedic care right here at home. Southeastern Med, your community hospital.
During the Whitesides of Cambridge March Madness Spin and Win, you make your best deal on any new or used vehicle on the Whiteside lot and then spin the wheel to get an extra $100 to $1,000 cash. You even keep the new huge GM rebates or get 0% interest on select models. Hop off 16% off select Buicks and even $1,000 in auto show bonus cash on select Buicks and professional grade GMCs. Plus $10,000 off list on a brand new GMC Rocky Ridge conversion at Whitesides of Cambridge. Whitesidesofcambridge.com. Just north of I-70 on Route 209.
Dave Davidson, Mark Withrow from the Convo in Athens. The regional final, Division II, as Columbus St. Francis DeSales 21-6 record, and head coach Joe Bills looking to pull off the upset on the number one state-ranked John Glenn Little Muskies and head coach Greg Woodard. A familiar atmosphere, familiar place here, Mark. Third year in a row now that John Glenn has been at this point of the season, the regional final. They've never been to the Final Four in Columbus, and they want to get past this. Another step in that on that golden road to Columbus.
Well, that's for sure. Third time's a charm, as we would say. Coming into this, John Glenn, the number one team in the state, number one team in our region, coming in here going to play a battle-tested DeSales team. DeSales got some great height, 6'8" in the mid-post. They got 6'5" on either side of him. Shorter in the guards, but very quick, very athletic. But John Glenn, just as athletic, maybe not as tall, like get up and down the court. Going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, absolutely. Columbus St. Francis DeSales defeated Steubenville by 20, 67-47 in Thursday night's meeting. In a game which, really Steubenville never just got going. They fell behind early, 11-2, I think, in that game. Never really got clicking. And, really a team that's, compared to John Glenn, not as sound defensively, and certainly, did not have the perimeter shooters like DeSales will see here today with John Glenn.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the team defense, of course, of John Glenn is outstanding. They're going to pressure full court. They're going to get up in people's face. They're going to pressure the ball. They like to get it and go. They're going to play the full length of the court. The DeSales team is led by, I think it's Kayan Sanchez. He is 6'8" junior against Steubenville, he put in 25 points. He shot 10 for 14 from the field, very effective around the goal. And then second leading scorer, 17 points, Adrian Awa, who is a shooting guard. He's 5'10". He's also a senior. He likes to shoot out on the perimeter. And other than that, really the scoring, there's a couple of points here, a couple of points there. The big kid's 6'8". They like to set up the offense and run it, and John Glenn likes to move it. And I think it's going to be a major key in the game.
Well, and with Sanchez, that 6'8" fellow that you're talking about, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 5 of those offensive rebounds against Steubenville. So to me, you and I, we've been talking about this game all the way down from Cambridge and New Concord today. And to me, if maybe the first real big test since their trip to Florida, dealing with a team that has considerable size above them, at least in the interior.
Well, they've got they played St. Vincent, St. Mary's, and they played them well, and they were a little, more evenly matched as far as height is concerned. The big kid, this 6'8" kid and the 2 6'5" kids really hit those boards. If you look at the statistics from the last game, the leading rebounder was this Luke Hippler, a 6'5" junior. And, that's the big key. They're going to have to do some serious boxing out. If you can keep those guys off the floor and they can get a pace that is quick like they like it, it could pose some problems for the setup, the half-court offense of DeSales.
And with the regional final game, as with any team, no matter who you're facing, physicality during the game and the style of play and what the referees are going to allow and so on is also a big key. John Glenn certainly has had time over the last, and this senior group this year especially has had time to adjust to that.
Well, one of the great things about the St. Vincent St. Mary's win, even if they had lost that game, great experience because it was a lot more physical than they're used to down in Southeast Ohio. And that's where you're starting to get as you get into the playoffs. It gets a little more physical. The referees are a little more liberal. They let things go. And, they've had that experience, and so they're going to be able to adjust. What they've got to do, John Glenn, is just play their style of basketball and see if DeSales likes that style, because I personally don't think they're going to like the speed up, get up and down the floor tempo with the big kids in the front court.
Drew Rackley, 25 points. Matt Weir with 19 in the Thursday night game. 8 for Austin Blatt, 9 for Blevins, and Slack only had a couple of 3-point shots, only had 6 points, didn't even need his points and still win by 27. So it's I guess it's a good thing to see, even when, and I don't say that Tanner had an off night. You just didn't really need to shoot it all that much on that particular night, but it's nice to know that you've got 4-5 starters out there that you can rely on points at any time.
Well, and the thing, hopefully they reap the benefits of the blowouts that they've had all the way up through the tournament to this point. Last game they won by 20-something, and that was that's the smallest margin of victory. And what hopefully that has done is saved the legs for the Muskie team. You've been able to put people on the bench and get some good minutes for some of the 6, 7, 8 players. Hopefully that'll pay off here on the longer court, and they'll get up and down style. They'll hopefully retain a little freshness, whereas the other team has had to play a little tougher road.
And in particular, Zach Harper and Matthew Stewart, quality minutes off the bench for Coach Greg Woodard, and they're certainly going to be tested here today, trying to keep a 6'5" Clydesdale and another 6'8" monster off of the glass, especially off the offensive side.
Yeah, and rebounding is all about positioning, using your feet. If you get in there and try to bull around with them, you'll get yourself in foul trouble. You have to look where that ball's coming, anticipate where it's going to go, and use your feet to get a body on people. And, hopefully you can get them in foul trouble, or better yet, you get that rebound and get up and down the floor.
And from what we've seen, I think Coach Greg Woodard and his staff were able to scout Columbus DeSales, I think against the Whitehall game a couple of games ago.
Yeah, they've been able to go out on the road and see. I think they've seen DeSales a couple of times, to be honest. They went to see Whitehall, and I think they saw DeSales that night. They've seen this bunch, and, of course, they love the challenge. I mean, they're getting in tougher games, and this team's focused. We know we talked to them after their loss last year in the region. You and I were out there milling around with them, and, they were already thinking about the next year. They were not discouraged in the word, but they were a little down, but already starting. They've played AAU ball. They went on a Christmas jaunt down into Florida. They played St. Vincent St. Mary's. They've worked extremely hard in the weight room and practicing to get to this point. Here we go.
Columbus St. Francis DeSales, another young man for the Muskie perimeter guys, Rackley and Weir and Slack in particular. And I think we're going to see probably Matt Weir matched up on this 5'10 senior guard, Adrian Awua. 4 3-pointers against Steubenville. Came out of the gate early, hit his first 3 shots of that game in about the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, and very athletic, very quick. Now, Steubenville, the way I understand it, they didn't really contest the 3-pointer that much, and he was able to nail 3 of them right off the bat. I'll guarantee you, Weir will be chest to chest with this young man. I mean, that's just the way the defense plays, and if you don't, you come out.
So we're just a few moments away here from the introductions here at the Convocation Center in Athens. Regional final action here on this Saturday, and John Glenn looking for win number 5 here in this Ohio High School State Playoff tournament run, and the winner goes on to Columbus. Columbus St. Francis DeSales at 21-6, and John Glenn at 25-1, and we'll do battle in this regional final game when we return on WYLE Sports and on the web at yourradioplace.com in just a moment. Let's get it on.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, yeah. Okay. Okay.
To this regional Division II final basketball game between the Muskies of John.
All right, for all of our webcast listeners watching on YouTube and on yourradioplace.com, welcome aboard here again this afternoon. This will be, unfortunately, the final time that we'll get to do at least the video webcast side of this thing here, but as always, too, if you can't make it to Columbus, God willing, we're hopefully going to Columbus Thursday next week. We're going to have, of course, John Glenn basketball on the FM frequency, 97.7, so you can catch us there after our webcasting is done today. Thanks again to our video crew, Jared Jamiel on the camera, Adam Green with the video engineering, and Quentin Archer back in our FM studios back in Cambridge. Welcome aboard to WYLE FM and on the web at yourradioplace.com. Boy, a tremendous scene here again, Mark. Just a ton of maroon, a little bit of scattered purple across from us on the other side for St. Francis DeSales. And we're in a familiar spot. It just seems like we were just back here in this same position just about a month ago. It seemed like it was just that quickly. And certainly we want to have a happy trip back home after this one's over tonight.
No doubt about it. If you can't hear that cry right there, was for John Glenn as they're getting ready to introduce their players, our players, and they've got the lights off and the music going. It's big time. So, they makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up as we get ready to see who's going to go to the state championship.
Absolutely. It's a great atmosphere. John Glenn Muskies in their road uniforms again here today like they were on Thursday night. All maroon with the white numbers and trim. Starting 5 for the Muskies. 6'4" senior Tanner Slack. 6' senior Matt Weir. 6'2" senior Drew Rackley. 6'4" sophomore Jay Blevins. And 6'1" senior Austin Blatt. Your starting 5 once again for the men in maroon. 25 wins on the year. And one more hurdle here today before they head to the state capital of Ohio.
I tell you, I feel very confident just in how they played, the preparation, the blood, sweat, and tears these young fellows have gone through to improve, and that they have all through the year. And, all they have to do is come out and play their game, and I think they're going to be fine. They're a terrific basketball team, but DeSales will be up for the match, and it's just going to be a terrific high school basketball game, no doubt about it.
Starting 5 for the St. Francis DeSales Stallions. They'll be in their home whites today, the light grays with the purple and white trim. And their starting 5 look like this: a backcourt tandem of 5'9" junior Ryan Peaks, Adrian Awua, 5' 10" senior. The forwards, Luke Hippler, 6' 5" junior, the leading rebounder the other night against Steubenville. Eric Fitz, a 6'5" senior. And the man in the middle, 6'8" junior, Caden Sanchez for St. Francis DeSales. Once again, Caden Sanchez at 6'8", 6'5" forwards, Luke Hippler and Eric Fitz. And the guards, Ryan Peaks and Adria Awau.
Well, the lights are going to come on here, partner, in a minute, and we're going to be ready to tip this baby off.
Again, thanks to all of our Muskie basketball sponsors here throughout the season and here in the tournament.
It's time to rock and roll in the Congo.
Those of you listening on 97.7 FM and on our web at yourradioplace.com, we still have video footage of this one here today as we go along. Wherever you are, you can log on, tune in, wherever you're at, and we'll bring you all the great play-by-play of this regional final here in Division II in Athens. Tanner Slack at 6'4" will tap it up against the formidable Caden Sanchez at 6'8".
And he's a big one.
And Slack will win the tip for Rackley. Quick bounce pass, Weir the other way. Basket good! 2-0 Muskies out of the gate.
Then full court pressure, and here's your trap right off the bat.
Beautiful look from Drew Rackley off of that tip, and Tanner Slack set that all up with the tap. St. Francis DeSales with the basketball. That's Peaks out top with it. Over on the right side now for Hippler. Inside it goes Sanchez, double teamed, up with a shot, tough one to go, can't get it. Rackley taps the rebound of teammate Austin Blatt, and here comes Weir up the right sideline.
Went into the big boy right off the bat, turned around, nice defense. It was a little short, and they hit the boards hard to only give him one opportunity.
Blevins and Blatt will swing it around to Matt Weir on the right perimeter. Getting a high screen from Blatt. Weir to the baseline. Baseline pass for Blevins, up with it, shot blocked, but a foul as Blevins' arm got hit on that block attempt by the 6'8" junior Caden Sanchez, who picks up the first foul of the game.
Nice ball movement. The 6'8" man Sanchez in there just roaming around protecting the cup. They drove the lane. They brought him to him. He was able to turn around. Looked like it could have been clean. Got him with a little bit of the arm. And here we go on the free throw line, Blevins.
I mean, to me, it looked like it was a foul, but quite honestly, I was surprised that it was called. I didn't really think that it would be called, and it was, in fact. Blevins with the free throw good, his first point of the game. 3-0 Muskies. 44 seconds gone here in the first. Second shot, Blevins up and in.
This free throw shooting is going to be all important, too. Last game shot about 90%, and that's going to be big time in tournament play.
Yes, sir. 4-0 lead, the same way that it started on Thursday night. Tanner Slack with a steal. Here they come the other way. Blevins up ahead to Rackley. Rackley double team, and he gets nudged from behind by Luke Hippler, who picks up the foul.
Nice job by Slack that time to steal the basketball. Before he went out of bounds, he went airborne, got it to Blevins quickly down the floor, and on the attack was Rackley. Got bumped. Just that speed of the game is going to be all important.
John Glenn out of the gate quickly here, 4-0 lead. They'll throw it in up top for Tanner Slack on the left perimeter. Matt Weir with it, crossing over on Peaks. Picks up his dribble. Top of the key it goes. Blevins will underhand it to Rackley now, who brings it back toward the right side for Blevins. Three-point shot. Bang! For Jay Blevins. 7-0 Muskies.
Good ball movement inside out. Timeout DeSales. They got a full one.
6:47 left here in the first quarter, and it is all John Glenn right now out of the gate. 7-0. Muskies by a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's right now they came out there playing their style of basketball, and that's terrific, but we got a lot of basketball to go. They got to keep it up.
Jay Blevins has 5 of those. Matt Weir with the other deuce. And really good to see that John Glenn is not out. No tentative notions out there. They look very relaxed and comfortable out there. They look like a very hungry basketball team right off the get-go, which you would expect.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but they're executing. You know, they're coming out and playing their style of defense, and right away you can see that that is not a style of game that DeSales really likes. I mean, the up-tempo thing, but you can also see they're going to go down inside to the big boy, and the big man Sanchez is going to protect that rim defensively.
Muskies off to the quick start. It'll be Stallions basketball going the full length of the floor. Luke Hippler, the 6'5" junior, will toss it into the backcourt, and as usual, the Muskies will provide full court pressure all the way.
Well, and the thing is I don't think that DeSales is going to fall apart like some of the teams that John Glenn is facing. They know this, so here they come on the attack.
Bounced along the right sideline. And a shot up, three-pointer won't go. Sanchez with that offensive rebound with the putback, and that's one of the things that we put a circle around. And there's Sanchez with his first offensive board, leads to a bucket, 7-2.
And did a real nice job of bodying up, did Sanchez, to get the offensive board and putback.
Blevins will drive on Sanchez, flips it around to Rackley, and tapped away there by DeSales. Hippler comes up with it quickly, down the floor. Beckett up and good off the right side of the glass.
First turnover leads to easy bucket for DeSales.
Leland Johnson, 5'8" sophomore with that bucket. Weir answers with a three and a splash.
Yeah, gave him a little bit too much room, able to hit it. And here's the full court pressure.
10-4 game. John Glenn on top. Stallion basketball, 2:15 into this first quarter. Hippler picks up his dribble, stops. Nice defense by Tanner Slack, who corrals the rebound as well. Across the timeline right side, gives it up Jay Blevins. Rackley, deep up high, steps up, 16-footer, bang for Drew Rackley. And the Rackley bunch in Arkansas praising that bucket. Watching us again here on yourradioplace.com today, 12-4.
Nice by Rackley, gets a little step, acts like he's going the bucket, defense falls off. He's up and off the dribble for the 2 points.
Lobbed inside Sanchez. Rackley tapped it away from behind, but Sanchez reposts, can't get it to go. Hippler taps it to teammate Awuha, and he'll bring it back out high.
And that's that offensive board. Blatt in there battling, good position. They just went over him.
Drives around Rackley, good defense there. And Blatt had it for a moment, but Muskie's late getting to it. Here's a drive, blocking foul, score it, and one for Ryan Peaks as he gets the offensive putback down the middle of the lane. 12-6 and a free throw coming.
Now 3 offensive boards on that particular series. You just got to get quicker to the basketball. They're doing a good job, John Glenn, bodying with them, but the height able to keep it alive, tipping it.
Free throw off the left side, no good.
Offensive board.
Sanchez again with his second offensive rebound. Here's Peaks finding Leland Johnson with that shot. It won't go. Sanchez again goes up to grab it, and John Glenn has to foul him before he can do anything with it. That'll be team foul number 2 on John Glenn.
Yeah, just killing him off the killing John Glenn off the offensive glass. I've got him down for 5 offensive rebounds here early.
Not a good sign. Rackley with the first foul, second of the Muskies. Johnson with it out high for Wuha. Now back to Johnson. Driving on Matt Weir, gives it up. Hippler, a 3-ball on the top right side, won't go, and Blatt all alone with the rebound for John Glenn as he gives it up to Blevins. Now Matt Weir. Weir gets a high screen from Blatt, penetrates the left side of the paint, pump fakes twice, up with it, and good. Weir over the much bigger Hippler at 6'5".
Nice job ball faking that time, in and out and over the top.
The feisty senior Matt Weir already with 7 in the game to lead all scorers. 14-6 Muskies nearly halfway through this first quarter. Leland Johnson again going down on the right block for Sanchez. Blatt, good job of keeping him outside the paint there.
Blatt just having to body up and try to keep him as far off the block as he can. There's a steal by Rackley.
Rackley going coast to coast, up with it, and thought about the dunk, but finger rolls it in. 16-6, John Glenn, timeout taken by St. Francis DeSales.
And that's that defense of John Glenn.
Beautiful job in the half-court defense by John Glenn, and Rackley and Weir looking very much like themselves, speedy out of the gate here and really beating the Stallions with their speed right now.
Well, that's the key, though, is the defensive pressure. They body up, and then you can see perfect defense by Rackley, getting that hand across the front, tipping it out in front of him, and then coming in for the layup. Just tremendous defensive pressure, and you get that for the whole game, and that's the strength of John Glenn basketball.
3:53 left first quarter. 16-6, John Glenn over St. Francis DeSales. And it'll be St. Francis basketball down by 10. So far, Matt Weir and Rackley, as well as Blevins, all very quick out of the gate. 7, 5, and 4 for Weir, Blevins, and Rackley so far. And we resume play here in the backcourt. Ryan Peaks, the 5'9" junior, will handle it for the Stallions.
Yeah, picking up half court this time, John Glenn.
Trying to get through Rackley. He got
got
a little bit of a bump right
push
there.
off.
And there's Rackley with a shoulder block on the big man Sanchez as his momentum couldn't quite stop him. That's going to be second personal foul on Drew Rackley here early with 3:40 left.
Yeah, and Harper getting ready to check back into the game. Going to give Drew a little bit of a break. Drew did a nice job. He got beat to the inside, and in doing so, he dropped down. He knew they were going to be looking for the big boy, just a little out of control. Banged into Sanchez, and it's going to be DeSales ball underneath. And look how much taller the big 6'8" Sanchez is than the rest of the defense.
And they brought in their other big body, 6'5" senior Eric Fitz. Here's Sanchez inside, had it stripped away, knocked outside high, but Ryan Peaks will go to retrieve it. Oh, there's going to be a foul. I didn't hear the whistle.
I didn't hear the whistle either.
And they'll say that foul going to be on Jay Blevins.
That's his first foul. Yeah, and that time trying to go into the post. It's no secret what they're trying to do. And, of course, John Glenn's really fronting and getting in front and behind the big guys.
Sanchez connects on his first free throw shot of the night. 16-7, John Glenn by 9. 3:38 left here in the first. Sanchez for his second free throw attempt. 6'5" Hippler and 6'5" big body Fitz in there to rebound as well, but Sanchez connects on both. He has 4 points to lead DeSales. 16-8, John Glenn with the ball.
Against Steubenville, Sanchez was 5 for 6 from the free throw line, so he can shoot free throws.
Weir penetrates foul line. Blatt with a three. Up with it, short off the rim, and Hippler with the rebound for the Stallions. Here comes Ryan Peaks pushing ahead quickly. Over to the right wing it goes for Johnson. Johnson stops at the foul line, ducks under. Sanchez on the baseline, deals it inside to Fitz. Had a shot blocked. Weir or Blatt, somebody got a piece of that one. Blevins comes up with the loose ball. 3-on-3, pull up Blevins. And no, off the rim. Sanchez with the rebound for St. Francis.
I think Slack might have been the one that got that block on the baseline.
Peaks will drive, send it out to Hippler on the wing. Sanchez has it up on the high post. Sanchez drives, and he got bodied up there by Zach Harper, who picks up the foul for John Glenn. That'll be the 5th on the Muskies as a team here in the first quarter. Still 2:52 remaining in an 8-point Muskie lead. Sanchez will go back to the line for 2 more free throws where he hit his last 2.
Yeah, they just you've got Blatt in there. Everybody's just bodying up on the big guys. They've got a definite height advantage. And Sanchez, very good free throw shooter at the line. Going to give Blevins a little bit of a break.
Matthew Stewart is in the lineup now for the first time for JG, 6'1" junior. And Sanchez very smooth at the free throw line, 4 for 4. He has 6 points, and the Muskie lead is down to 6, 16-10, 2:45 left here in the quarter. Blatt will send it around for Stewart. Stewart takes a 3. Off the rim, no. Slack with the offensive rebound on the backside as he beat Leland Johnson.
Yeah, nice movement without the ball by Slack to get that offensive putback.
Peaks. Stewart trying to cut him off. Peaks going all the way to the rim, trying to draw contact instead of make the shot. Missed it everything with that one. Weir comes the other way, 3-on-3. Gives it to Blatt. 3 ball. And splash for Austin Blatt as it rattled out and back in.
Nice touch, shooter's touch. It went to hit every part of the rim off the backboard and in.
Good to see Austin Blatt shooting with some confidence out there and no hesitation. 21-10. Biggest lead now for John Glenn. 2 minutes left here in the first quarter from Athens. Leland Johnson, top of the key, looking down low for the big fella Sanchez. Good position there on Matt Weir, and no answer for John Glenn there as Sanchez puts in his second field goal. Quickly, Muskies back the other way. Stewart penetrates, kicks it out for Weir. Back inside to Stewart. Baseline shot, deflected there by Hippler. Gives it up. Harper trying to maneuver around Sanchez, and John Glenn will reset it with Matt Weir out top.
Yeah, nice job that time of reset.
Stewart a 3, won't go, and a rebound for Johnson as he boxed out Tanner Slack. Racing up the left sideline is Johnson with 1.5 minutes remaining first quarter, 21-12, JG by 9. A very fast-paced, John Glenn sort of a tempo here in this first quarter, I would think.
That's the tempo that John Glenn wants, but look, they're trying to stuff it inside, and we are just collapsing down in on Sanchez.
Around the top with it is Ryan Peaks. Inside it goes Sanchez. Sanchez again with good post position, and the double team by Zach Harper a little bit late. And Sanchez with another field goal. He has 10 in the game.
He's just a big, wide body down there on the block and tough to defend. We really don't have anybody to match up after double team.
21-14. Muskies by 7. Weir drives for Stewart. Stewart pull up from 10. That one off the right side of the rim, no good. Hippler with another rebound for DeSales. 48 seconds remaining. 7-point advantage for JG. Johnson on the right corner. Looking inside again for Fitz. That's not there. Inside they go to Fitz now as Sanchez dumps it inside, and the other big fella, 6'5 senior Eric Fitz with his first bucket, 21-16.
Well, they went high to low. Sanchez up on top, down in low, and to another big man. They're just killing John Glenn with their height right now.
Matt Weir and Blatt communicating what they want to do here in this final 20 seconds. Blatt will pull it out high. Luke Hippler backing off man-to-man defense on him. Down to 15 seconds, 5-point lead, JG. Trying to get the last made bucket of the quarter.
1-4 set across the elbow for John Glenn.
Blatt looking, crossing over on Hippler to the bucket. Draws a little contact, won't get it. Fitz with the rebound. Out to Hippler with 1 second. And Slack says no, sir. No shot at the end of the first quarter as he blocks that one cleanly at half court. So the Muskies take a 5-point lead to the second quarter here at the Convo in Athens, 21-16. John Glenn leading St. Francis DeSales here in this Division II regional final game. And our coverage on ABC Sports will continue after these words. Adam Green, Jared Jamil on the videos for us on yourradioplace.com, and Quentin Archer back in our FM studio in Cambridge. Welcome aboard. Mark Withrow and Dave Davidson here at the Convo in Athens. Start of the second quarter, 21-16. Muskies with a 5-point lead. DeSales ball here to start.
9 for 17, 52% for John Glenn, 35%, 6 for 17 for DeSales.
A different defensive look here by John Glenn, looking to go kind of a 1-3-1 sort of a style zone. You don't see that all that often. Here's Wuha with the shot. Won't go. Sanchez, another offensive rebound. His pass tapped away by Rackley, out of bounds. DeSales will keep it.
That time we're at good position, but the big man Sanchez just over top, and that was not a foul. Just over the top. He's able to reach because he's so much bigger to get the ball. Now Slack just showed his length there, knocking the ball out of bounds.
Nearly got up and snatched it away out of midair from Luke Hippler's out-of-bounds pass, but it stays under the bucket toward the left corner for DeSales. Early moments here in the second quarter. That pass over the top for Fitz is too long. Blevins intercepts. 2-on-2 the other way. Weir flips that one to Blevins. Nice job in saving that one by Jay. He'll give it back out high for Slack, and now Matt Weir top of the key. 7:20 left second quarter. Still a 5-point lead.
Little matchup here by DeSales.
Rackley and Slack will direct traffic with it out top with it. Blevins left wing for Blatt, top of the key. Blatt crossing over on Fitz, goes around Fitz, ducks under with the scoop shot, won't get it to go. And Sanchez with a defensive rebound this time for DeSales. Still a 5-point advantage for John Glenn. Here's Adrian Oahu inside, had his first shot blocked, goes up on the other side of the glass and gets it to go. And the lead cut now to 3, 21-18.
Another offensive board just killing John Glenn right now. They're just killing him on the board. 7 offensive rebounds.
Weir penetrates the key, throws it out for Slack. A 3-ball right side. No, it won't go. Black with an offensive rebound for John Glenn nicely. Here's Blevins inside with the scoop. Use the body, can't get it to go. Weir's tap no good. Second shot won't go. Sanchez had it, and it was stolen away. And they're going to call a foul on Austin Blatt.
And the fans don't like it. Looked like he had all ball that time, but that's not the way the call went. Offensive rebound that time for John Glenn, but just unable to make it fall in the trees. Very aware of their height. And that's why I don't think John Glenn wants to get into a set with them. They need to get some steals off their defense and
out in the open floor.
Get in the open floor with them, run these guys.
Austin Blatt's first personal foul, team 6th on John Glenn, so 1-1 the rest of the way, rest of this half for DeSales. Still a 3-point advantage. There's a traveling violation on Adrian Owua, who gets called for it right as he crossed half court. And again, some of this little mix-up in the defense here by Coach Greg Woodard causing a little bit of thought processes to change.
Little zone pressure that time, came across, shuffled his feet, and here comes John Glenn after the turnover.
3-point advantage for JG. Blatt, Weir, Slack, Rackley, and Blevins. 4 seniors and a sophomore. Starting 5 still out there. Matthew Stewart in and Zach Harper in that first quarter for a short respite. Blevins inside, looking, swings it over to the corner for Rackley. Rackley pump fakes. Up with a shot, drew the contact, and nearly the 3-point play as Adrian Owuah will get the personal foul for Columbus DeSales, the 3rd as a team. Rackley to the line for the first time today.
Nice ball fake by Drew and just went around him, pivoted around him, got contact and put it off the glass.
And Rackley sinks free throw number 1. He has 5 points in the game. Matt Weir leads the Muskies with 7. Blevins and Rackley now with 5 apiece. Blatt 3, Tanner Slack 2. So all 5 starters in the score column. And here's Rackley, rattles in the second free throw toss. And Rackley, I believe, will come out of the game now. Still playing with those 2 personal fouls. Greg Woodard not wanting to take any chances here.
Yeah, for sure. Getting him a little bit of a breather. And, of course, the foul trouble. You want to get him out of there while they play defense.
Zach Harper.
There's a
the
turnover.
6'3" junior's coming in. Here's Blatt to the bucket.
Oh, they waved it off.
Charging foul called on Austin Blatt, and he can't believe it.
They waved it off.
Austin Blatt called for his second very tough personal foul.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I like how the young man's keeping his composure. Don't change. Coach Woodard's not doing anything. That's a judgment call, so they wave off the basket, and it's going to be John Glenn's basketball, or excuse me, DeSales basketball, and we're set up in the press.
5:53 remaining first half, 23-18, John Glenn by 5.
Little diamond press here with getting ready to trap.
Peaks will send it ahead to Hippler, and Hippler had it tapped away from Blatt from behind, and that is now 3 rather controversial calls on Austin Blatt, who cannot believe it.
Austin Blatt has been
and there's
with his 3rd personal foul.
Blatt going to go to the bench now. Matthew Stewart will check in to replace him.
By Matt Stewart. Eric Fitz.
He's having a heated discussion with the official right now, Coach Woodard. You know what if you could read lips, what he's saying is there's no way that was a foul. All the pushing and shoving going around, and that's what they're going to call that.
Hippler is going to be at the foul line for the first time today. Still scoreless in the game, and still scoreless, in fact.
And they called a foul on us for that, and that's what the fans are saying.
Blevins comes down with the rebound after the free throw miss by Hippler. Still 23-18. Here's Weir finding Blevins inside. Blevins to the rack, and he went strong to the hole to make sure he drew the contact. And he'll get the call this time. Blevins to the line for 2. 5:34 left here to go in the first half, and the intensity is picked up here in this second quarter.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Of course, you knew you weren't going to keep DeSales down. They're going to come battling back as Blevins hits the first free throw. What I like, though, is the coach very animated, but the players continue to focus, and you don't see a lot of griping and complaining. They're playing basketball, and that's what's got to happen. You can't get caught up refereeing, or you'll lose it in this game.
Absolutely. Blevins' second free throw toss. Off the back iron too hard. Fitz with the rebound for DeSales. 1 out of 2 for Blevins to make it a 6-point game. 24-18, 5.5 to go.
And immediately there's pressure.
Leland Johnson up the left sideline. Feeds it to Owuah. Back to Johnson for a 3. That one airballed, missed everything. Ball last touch by DeSales inside as Matt Weir knocked it off the
I tell you, that's a nice job
leg
by Matt Weir keeping contact on the box out, because that ball could have been smacked in or even retrieved by the larger DeSales team, able to let it go out of bounds. And so John Glenn's going to get the ball. A little full court pressure by DeSales.
That was Abdul Kanu, who was in, 6'4"
token
junior for DeSales, as Weir knocked it off of him there. Muskie ball with a 6-point lead, 24-18. Weir across the timeline. Keeps his dribble, out high with it. Right corner for Tanner Slack. Tried to feed it into Rackley, double teamed there and knocked away by Fitz, who comes away with the swipe, and he'll give it to point guard Ryan Peaks.
3rd turnover of the half.
Peaks out to Leland Johnson. Over now to Kanu. Top side, back to Johnson. Muskies will pretty much stay in a matchup man-to-man type defense here. 4:44 left in the half. Still a 6-point lead for the Muskies.
Sanchez on the bench are trying to get into Fitz. They finally do.
Inside to Fitz. Nice double team to keep vertical, but a backside rebound for Kanu. Can't get it away, and a jump hook won't go, and Rackley snares the rebound away for John Glenn. Rackley pushing it ahead. Right wing for Matt Weir. Weir directing traffic, calling for a screen, gets it from Austin Blatt. Sends it across the left side for Blevins. Now Tanner Slack. Slack out high for Matt Weir. John Glenn will reset their offense here nearly halfway through this second quarter. Weir drives, drew contact before the shot. And it'll be the 15th foul against DeSales. Muskies will have it under the hoop with 4:10 to play here in the half.
Yeah, and that was before the shot. They're going to get a foul on the floor. It's going to be John Glenn's ball underneath.
Abdul Kanu called for that foul.
Here comes Sanchez in. And out's going to go Kanu.
So now you got 3 guards and 2 big fellas, Fitz and Sanchez. Weir out on the left wing, penetrates and got body contact this time. And the officials are going to give it to Matt Weir on this one. That'll be Sanchez with his second personal foul. 4 minutes left here in the half. 24-18 Muskies, and to the line goes Matt Weir.
Nice hesitation there by Weir, and then attack the glass, make the big man defend. And he went in, got bodied up with him. Weir at the free throw line for 2.
Weir with a swish on free throw number 1 of the day for the 6-foot senior. 8 points in the game for Weir. 7-point lead.
Zach Harper reenters. Also coming back on the floor, Abdul Kanu.
Here comes Kanu. They're going to get Sanchez out with that second foul. Don't want to get the franchise in foul trouble.
And that's a good sign for John Glenn.
Yes.
Hopefully they'll be able to extend this lead. Weir, again, good with the second free throw toss. 9 in the game for Matt Weir, 26-18. Biggest lead for John Glenn has been 10. And Peaks will bring it across the timeline and throws it away. Nice jump defense by Matt Weir to change that pass at the last moment. And he throws it out of the reach of Awuha.
4th turnover for DeSales. Blatt's going to come back in the game. Harper's going to have a seat.
3:52 left here in the first half. 26-18. Muskies by 8 with the ball as Drew Rackley brings it up from the backcourt. Sends it along the right sideline for Tanner Slack. Slack's bounce pass across the top. Blevins goes back to the right side for Blatt. Underhands it to Weir, who comes around a couple of screens.
Boom.
Here's Slack, 3 ball, splash! Tanner Slack.
Nice ball movement. Seen it all year. Little weave. Slack over. Defense gets a little lackadaisical, falls back, leaves Slack wide open.
4 different 3-point makes for John Glenn by different players. Here's an interception for Slack. 4 on 2 the other way. Weir to the hole. Score it. Timeout DeSales.
30 seconds. You called it, partner. They got the big boy out of there and the pace picked up. John Glenn's defense. That's the key, and that's been the key all year.
Beautiful steal and assist for Tanner Slack to feed Matt Weir for his 11th point of the game. And that will be the biggest lead of the game so far with 3:18 left in the half. 31-18, John Glenn by a 13-point margin.
Yeah, I'd like to see that defense pick up, especially you get the big boy out of there. Now, coach has to make a decision. Of course, he's going to keep him on the bench for a little while. At least you anticipate that. But you put him in there, and he's going to run up and down the floor with those legs against this fast pace, or you put him on the bench and protect him, and you take a chance on the lead getting larger and larger because nobody plays that post quite like he does.
Muskies come out with Jay Blevins, Tanner Slack, Matt Weir, Matthew Stewart, and Zach Harper. And DeSales will have Eric Fitz taking it out of bounds. Ryan Peake.
Sanchez back in.
Yep, Caleb Sanchez, as you said, 6'8 junior back in the game down at the deep end.
He kicked it all out of bounds.
And how about that? Some token backcourt pressure produces a mistake again by the Stallions backcourt. John Glenn basketball.
Well, that's that relentless pressure. Peaks tried to go behind his back and hit his heel, knocked it right out of bounds. Just one of those things. Here comes, see if they're going to get Sanchez out. No, they're going to get, no, they're going to get, they're going to take Ryan Peaks out that time, the guy that just turned the ball over.
Leland Johnson is in to replace him. So the guards, Johnson and Awuha. The forwards, Hippler, Fitz, and Sanchez, the 3 forward, big forward combination in there. Rackley on the low post, fadeaway shot, hit the front of the rim, no, and Eric Fitz with a rebound for DeSales. 13-point lead, Muskies, 3 minutes left first half. Up the left sideline, Johnson will give it to Hippler, back to Johnson. High post it goes on the left elbow for Fitz, lobs it inside for Sanchez. Sanchez goes reverse, can't get it to go, and Rackley rips away the rebound from Fitz. Here they come pushing the other way, beating the 2 big fellas. Weir on the left wing. Tapped away by Awuha momentarily, but recovered for Drew Rackley.
That time the big boy tried to reverse layup. Probably should have gone up strong on his side
I was
and threw it over the goal.
You're right. And there's a kick ball inside. Sanchez Kicks that bounce pass away as Rackley was trying to find Blevins cutting down the center of the lane. Out of bounds under the bucket for JG with a 13-point lead. 2:31 left here in the first half from the Convo in Athens. Winner goes to Columbus on Thursday. And Weir tried to knock it off the leg of Leland Johnson, and it hits Weir on the rebound. So a turnover, as really no Muskies were coming to the ball all that well for Matt Weir.
Yeah. Well, that time he was having some trouble getting in. Probably hindsight, probably should have called the timeout, but didn't do it that time. So you got to keep on playing. I like the demeanor. They haven't changed expression or anything. Just continue to play.
Rackley will come out again. 2 personal fouls. Rackley has picked up those 2 personals in about the first 4 or 5 minutes of this ball game today and has been playing with them since. He'll come out for Coach Greg Woodard as Matthew Stewart comes back in the lineup. Johnson will deal it up high for Fitz. Now back to the point man, Ryan Peaks. Peaks around the left side. We'll send it to Johnson for a 3 ball on the left side. Got it.
Yeah, nice job, nice ball movement that time. Went to the right, reversed it, and got Johnson open for the three-pointer.
Leland Johnson with the first 3-point bucket for DeSales here today. 10-point lead for the Muskies. Weir drives coast to coast, too hard with that rebound, and Sanchez takes it away from 2 Muskies. Here comes Ryan Peaks quickly ahead in the middle of the floor. Drives on Slack. Great defense by Slack to change that shot inside, but Fitz comes up with another offensive rebound. Sanchez over to Johnson, penetrates. Right side kick out to Peaks. Back into the post it goes for Fitz. Fitz with a nice spin move on Harper and gets the bucket. 4 points in the game for Eric Fitz.
Yeah, and another offensive board, keeping things alive, and that's the story of the game, keeping DeSales in right now.
Absolutely. Offensive rebounding's been killer. Greg Woodard and the Muskies will take a 30-second timeout here with 1:26 left in this second quarter. We'll keep it here on 97.7 FM and on yourradioplace.com for all of our webcast viewers here this afternoon. 31-23, JG by 8, led by as many as 13.
Yeah, 23 rebounds for DeSales, and of those 23, 9 of them are offensive boards. John Glenn has 10 rebounds and only 4 offensive rebounds. So, right now that's where they're earning it. DeSales on the glass, especially the offensive glass, they're just eating John Glenn up.
But where John Glenn is making up for the lack of rebounding edge, the turnover margin, once again, John Glenn is winning that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 8 turnovers for DeSales, 4 for John Glenn, but it's off that defense and the defensive transition, going to the hole, spacing out, making that defense hustle up and down that floor is the key, I think. John Glenn's got to run these guys.
Jay Blevins back in the lineup for Coach Greg Woodard, and he'll throw it into Austin Blatt. Slack, Rackley, and Weir, the 5 starters back out there for JG. Austin Blatt, remember, playing with 3 personal fouls here, so he certainly is going to be careful.
That shows you how much confidence that Coach Woodard and his staff have for their players.
Slack penetrates, draws a double. Blevins 3, off the back rim, too hard. Rebound tapped away. Scooped up by Blatt, who goes to the bucket and scores. Austin Blatt.
Nice job by Slack keeping that ball alive with the tip. Could have been called for a foul, too. Very fortunate.
33-23. Dumped inside to Fitz. Fitz again in the paint. Scoops and can't get it. Blatt with another tough rebound inside, keeping a body on Eric Fitz.
Yeah,
44 seconds left.
I'll tell you, John Glenn's doing a nice job bodying up. It's just the tremendous height advantage that DeSales have. They're able to go up over them.
What do coaches say? You can't teach height?
No doubt.
6'5", 6'5", 6'8", bigger than any John Glenn player on the roster.
Now, right now, they've got DeSales defense extended here, and be interesting to see with 23 seconds left to go in the half.
Rackley is going to work on Adrian Oahu, and Wuha will get the reach-in foul as Rackley did a good job of sticking with that and drawing the contact. And just where we would like to see John Glenn players at the free throw line, where it's been very kind to them so far in the tournament.
Nice job with the substitution. He's going to come in, gets Blatt out of there with 3. You don't want to lose a penalty, get a penalty here with 20 seconds. And then we've got I'm not sure who that is over there getting ready to check in, but they're going to check in for Rackley. Rackley's got a couple fouls, too. Going to get them out so they don't get a cheap one here in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, Stewart waiting at the table, and a one-on-one opportunity for Rackley, and he drains that one. And I'm sure the Rackley bunch down in Arkansas watching us again today on yourradioplace.com here as we near the first half.
What's up?
What was it? What is it? Pig Suey? Is that what Strasser said the other night? I forget what their slogan is. Good free throws for Rackley. He comes back out with the 2 personals, and he has 8 points in the game.
Little full court pressure again. This is the MO of John Glenn, and going to force them to use time getting it down here. Nothing easy.
12-point lead, John Glenn. DeSales perhaps with the last shot attempt here of the half. Leland Johnson in trouble, picks up his dribble, 10 seconds, gets it to Peaks. Peaks penetrates, swings it out. Johnson open 3, right side, off the back rim, no good. Weir taps it for a moment. It's recovered by Johnson, throws up a shot at the buzzer, won't go, and that's the end of the half. So again, very sticky defense here by the maroon and white as the Muskies have a 12-point lead, 35-23. At the end of this first half here at the Convo in Athens.
Yeah, I tell you, been a great half for John Glenn. They came out and they did what they needed to do. Fast-paced game, getting after it, and able to come away with a nice lead here at halftime. Get some rest, make a couple adjustments, come back out and win this thing.
One half of basketball in the books here in this Division II regional final. We'll get you set here during the halftime after we take a short halftime break. We'll look at the Division II regional brackets from the other games going on. Hope to have an update here, hopefully, from our Ohio University table crew down on the floor. Our thanks again to Adam Green and Jared Jamio running the video controls for us, and Quentin Archer back in our FM studio. Great job as usual, guys, so far. Hope all of you are enjoying the audio and the video broadcast of ours today here as Muskie Tournament basketball continues. We'll take a break. 35-23, Muskies by 12 here at halftime at the Convo in Athens. We'll return in just a moment. This one here this afternoon. This will be our final webcast, video webcast here of Muskie Tournament basketball. We won't be able to do it in Thursday and Saturday next week in Columbus. All right, thanks again, Quentin Archer, back in our FM studios. Mark Withrow and Dave Davidson here at the Convo, and a 35-23 lead for the good guys.
Yeah, let's look at a quick number here. When we look at John Glenn and St. Francis DeSales. DeSales shooting 9 for 29 from the floor, 31% 3-point field goals, 1 for 8, 12.5%. Free throw percentage, 66.7%, 4 for 6 for St. Francis DeSales. Looking at John Glenn, 44% from the floor, 11 for 25. 3-point field goals, 4 for 10, 40%. Free throw percentage, 9 for 10, 90%, which is huge. I'm looking at the turnover situation here. Turnovers 4 for John Glenn and 8 for St. Francis DeSales. And rebounding, 16 for John Glenn, 21 for St. Francis DeSales, and DeSales getting a lot of offensive rebounds, out-rebounding John Glenn 11-5.
We'll take another timeout here on ABC Sports. Halftime score, Muskies by 12, 35-23. Back in a moment. Thanks again, Quentin Archer back in our FM studios. Jared Jamiel and Adam Green running the videos for us again here from the Convo Division II Regional Final. And the Muskies with a 12-point lead here, 35-23 over the St. Francis DeSales Stallions. Caden Sanchez, 6'8 junior, 10 points in that first half and a lot of rebounds for St. Francis, 8 of them in all, 4 offensive. And that's one thing that Coach Greg Woodard will have to remedy in this second half. Leland Johnson off the bench, a sophomore with 5 points, 4 for Eric Fitz. On the John Glenn side of things, a nice balanced effort once again for John Glenn. Matt Weir is the leader with 11 points. Drew Rackley has 8, 5 each from Tanner Slack and Austin Blatt, and 6 points out of sophomore Jay Blevins. So another balanced attack by John Glenn as they have a 12-point lead here at halftime. We'll take one final break here in this halftime report, and we'll come back with the second half of action from the D2 Regional Final here at the Convocation Center in just a moment. Mark Withrow, Dave Davidson back to the Convo in Athens as we're about to start the second half. Muskies up by a dozen, and some big-time adjustments here by Greg Woodard and the Muskies here at halftime.
Well, you got to keep playing less fouling. You got to keep a body on them and keep the pressure on. Defense is the key for John Glenn Little Muskies. As far as DeSales, man, they're going to try to impose their will, stick that ball on the inside, and I mean, it's tough to stop those big creatures on the inside on the boards, but John Glenn's got to continue to work.
Jay Blevins will throw it in to start the second half to Austin Blatt. Slack, Rackley, and Weir. 5 starters out there for John Glenn, likewise for St. Francis. Rackley penetrates the key into Blevins. Runner for Blevins, good again for the 6'4 sophomore, now with his 8th point of the game.
Nice feed by Rackley off the little curl, and Blevins went in a little floater over top of the big man Sanchez.
Good start for John Glenn off the get-go. 37-23. Muskies by 14. Ryan Peaks penetrates deep on the right perimeter. Now gives it to Fitz. Fitz takes an uncharacteristic 3 from out there. John Glenn will live with that. Rebound for Blevins.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's the kind of shot they want Fritz to take. Here goes Weir to the bucket.
Weir flying to the bucket and went a little too fast as he tried to beat Sanchez and Fitz to the rim, and he did so, but left it off too hard. Here's Peaks for DeSales the other way. Fitz down on the block. Here's Sanchez, 17-footer. Bang.
Well, that's nice ball movement. Fritz got back out to Sanchez for the bucket. Too bad Weir missed that layup, but he just went a little too strong.
Rackley a 3, splash for the big fella.
Boom, Rackley gets his feet set up under him, and nice kick back to him, and he drills it.
And now all 5 starters have a 3-point shot in the game, and the biggest lead for John Glenn at 40-25.
Trying to go inside, Blatt on the big boy.
Blatt with the 3 personal fouls, keeping in front of Sanchez. Nice defense by Blatt as Sanchez just threw it up at the glass. Can't get it. Rackley rebounds. Slack wide open 3. No, off the rim. Rebound
nice
tapped
job
by Weir.
Weir.
Yes, sir. He tapped it to Austin Blatt, who saves possession. Rackley penetrates left side of the key. Goes to the hole. Left-hand layup is good for Drew Rackley.
Nice left hand that time as he took it right to the heart of the defense and able to put it in. And boy, the John Glenn faithful are coming to their feet.
Everybody in Muskie land on their feet now. 17-point lead. Block from the line. Charging foul called on Ryan Peaks as Austin Blatt gets the call finally tonight and draws the charge.
Nice job by Austin Blatt holding his ground. What a great play by Blatt. And, of course, if he hadn't gotten the charge, that ball was going to be stuffed as Blevins was on top of it.
But more importantly, Blatt was not called for the blocking foul, which would have been his 4th personal, and I was getting nervous.
Yeah, and that took a lot of guts to stand there, and he held his ground.
So a great defensive play by the Muskies on that end. Here's Blevins to the basket. And a great feed into the post. Jay Blevins is off to a huge start here in the half. 19-point lead for John Glenn.
Timeout by DeSales. They tried to line up in the zone, and it didn't work as they penetrated.
44-25. Muskies by 19. 5:55 to go in this third quarter. We'll take a break here on 97.7 FM and on the web at yourradioplace.com. We'll be back in a moment. Back to the Convocation Center in Athens. Adam Green, Jared Jamiel on the camera videos for us on our webcast. Welcome aboard. 650 plus viewers again today. Had about 1,000 on Thursday night and a whole bunch of you viewing in again today. Welcome aboard, as well as those listening the old-fashioned way on 97.7 FM. DeSales basketball. Here's Peaks with a 3. Off the top of the key, won't go. And Austin Blatt's going to be called for
oh my gosh,
an undercut on Caden Sanchez.
I don't like that call at all. I think Sanchez pushed Blatt out of the way and then jumped up. and Blatt was trying to battle against the pressure and came up under him. I disagree with that call all the way, but that's
fourth personal foul on Austin Blatt on all 4 of those calls. Maybe not so much on that one, but certainly 3 of the 4 have been very, very tough to deal with.
Yeah, well, that's one of those things.
Here's Hippler, a 3, left side. Got it.
Well, hey, now the scouting report, they know the kid can shoot, so that's on our defense there.
First bucket of the game for Luke Hippler, his only 3 points so far today. Weir penetrates the lane, kicks it to Blevins, back to the left corner for Weir. Weir dribbles around one man, pump fakes on Sanchez, shoots it right around the big fella Sanchez, and Matt Weir on a mission today.
Sanchez raised those arms up, and Weir just went around him. There's a turnover.
Backcourt trap by Blevins and Rackley, and a mad scramble for the basketball. Held ball, and it's going to go to DeSales on the possession arrow.
Nice job with that little trap. He knew it was coming. He stopped at the half-court line and backed up, but they clamped down on him and got the ball on the ground and all 3 onto the floor after it. Nice hustle by all these young men.
Adrian Awuah will go to the bench. Leland Johnson back in, who started the game here today in Awuah's place where he started Thursday night. Hippler pump fakes a 3 right side, steps in, takes a long 2, bounces twice off the rim in the glass, no good. Eric Fitz had the offensive rebound, and then Hippler goes up with the foul.
They're going to call a foul on our guy.
And Hippler went over the top of a Muskie, didn't see who it was. And they're going to go second team foul against John Glenn, and that'll be charged to Zach Harper with his second personal foul. DeSales will keep it under the basket with an 18-point deficit, 4:50 to go here in the third.
Well, it looks like somebody on the DeSales bench is seeing a trainer, but that's an interesting call. Anyway, they've got play stopped while the coach talks to the official, and the trainer is working, looks like maybe a blood issue.
It'll be Anthony Sharoni into the game now for St. Francis DeSales. 6-foot freshman will be in the game now. So Sharoni with Leland Johnson, Fitz, Hippler, and Sanchez the forwards. Hippler looking to get it into the corner for Sharoni. And down to the block it goes Fitz. And a little reach-in hand in the cookie jar for Jay Blevins, who's called for that foul. Third foul on the Muskies, and 2 shots coming for Eric Fitz.
See, this could be the Achilles heel, too, as they're blowing a whistle on every little touch down here. Fritz going to be at the free throw line shooting 2.
And this will be Fitz's first trip to the line here today. He has 4 points. And the first free throw is in there. Fitz now with 5. Still a 17-point lead here for John Glenn, 46-29, 4:45 to go here in the third quarter. This D2 regional final winner will go to Columbus on Thursday night for a late night affair at 8:30. And Fitz, second free throw. Short on that one. Blevins taps it to himself and corrals the rebound.
Nice job by Blevins not to let that get away from him.
Blevins all alone as Harper down on the block. Harper powered up a shot, maybe waited too long, and Muskies get a break there as Fitz had to rebound easily with no one around him and just lost it off his hands out of bounds.
Yeah, I want you to take note, Harper ended up on his backside after that. No call.
That's one there where Harper's really got to go up.
Yeah, he's
got to go up the first time.
He's intimidated by that height. He's seen, this big 6'8" kid can intimidate you on the inside.
Inbounded to Slack on the left wing. 4.5 to go here in the third. And still a fairly comfortable 17-point lead for JG. Rackley around a Harper screen, penetrates. Will deal it out high for Slack. Slack down the middle of the lane with the runner, the floater, bounces high in the air, can't get it to go. Rebound tap, corralled there by Zach Harper. Out high to Rackley. Rackley steps in, 16-footer. Bang! Drew Rackley.
Nice job, and that all started with the offensive board. John Glenn able to keep it alive and get a second opportunity.
Great hustle by Slack and Harper to keep that possession alive. Rackley with his now 15th point of the game.
Boy, he's a load on the inside. Sanchez gets it that low, you can almost count on. He drop step to the right with his left hand and into the bucket.
Sanchez knows what to do with it in the low post for sure. And
should
a
be
tie-up
John Glenn's
possession
ball.
Going to John Glenn, as you said, Mark. Zach Harper down on the floor to tie up Leland Johnson off an attempted steal by DeSales.
Yeah.
Still a 17-point lead.
Trying to cross over dribble in front of the defense. Now, these are still very good athletes that you're dealing with, and they able to knock the ball away from Weir and get it on the floor.
Just over halfway through this third quarter. Blevins will get it into Zach Harper. Blevins penetrates, deals it out for a Harper 3 ball. That one's too long, and the rebound coming down to DeSales' Anthony Sharoni.
got his feet set but just couldn't nail it.
Hippler trying to drive around Slack. Good defense there. Sanchez pull up from 12. Muskies will live with that, but another long rebound for Hippler for DeSales. Another offensive board. Leland Johnson floater in the lane won't go. Sanchez had it blocked by Tanner Slack. And a rebound for Zach Harper, and Harper gets grabbed on the rebound. Great job by Tanner Slack, who got a piece of that 6'8" Caden Sanchez putback shot.
Yeah, did a nice job. They're battling in there on the boards. Nice job. You have to give DeSales credit. They're getting some other opportunities, but that time John Glenn gets the basketball, and little foul there, going to bring Fitz out of the game, I believe. Now you got pressure up floors. Anybody see it? They're going to give Weir a little pressure, so.
And they'll get it in. Rackley to Matt Weir in the backcourt. 3:20 to go third quarter, I should say. 48-31. Muskies by 17 with the ball. Harper out on the high side for Matt Weir, top of the key. Weir with that left-hand dribble now looks to his right, directing traffic. Gets a Zach Harper screen where Weir goes around it to the back and lays it in between two defenders, Matt Weir.
Little switch that time. Sanchez had him, and he just out-quicked the big man going to the bucket. Used his right hand, very important, to keep away from the shot blocker.
Explosive move by Matt Weir, who's on his way to the Air Force Academy next year. Here's a long two for Sanchez, and all alone is Drew Rackley with a rebound on a 19-point Muskie lead. 2:40 to play here in the third. Weir again.
He's carrying it.
And he got called for palming the basketball that time as that little stutter dribble, waiting to see what Harper was going to do on that pick and roll play, and Weir called for the turnover.
First turnover, but again, I look at the demeanor. I like the demeanor of the kids. They're not officiating, they're playing. And that's what you got to do on this level. You haven't got time.
2:35 left here in the third quarter. 50-31. And stumbling down for the moment was Ryan Peaks. Nice job by Peaks to save it, and then a slap from behind by Rackley as he got gambling. Caught gambling there. Rackley with his third personal foul, and number 4 on John Glenn here in this second half. 2:25 to go and a 19-point advantage for JG.
Definitely a touch foul, but at the same time, you got to know that they're going to call that when you get by and you reach up behind like that.
DeSales will throw it in. Adrian Owuha will get it into Leland Johnson. Now Ryan Peaks. So they're going to play with the 3 small guards. They're going to try to go small now on John Glenn. Hippler and Sanchez, the other forwards in there. A wild shot there by Leland Johnson. Muskies come up with a loose ball.
Tried to draw the foul.
Johnson tried to draw it, won't get it. Nice interior defense by Harper and Weir inside. Rackley comes down with the loose ball for JG. 2 minutes to go. Weir, deep water 3, no, off the left side. Johnson had it for a moment. Blevins tried to corral the rebound and nearly goes into the walkway tunnel to try and save it in bounds. DeSales basketball.
Nice hustle that time. Going to give Slack a little break. Minute 57 left. Had the open 3. Did not hit it. Blevins really went after it. That's a great effort to go after it. A little pressure here as nothing easy for DeSales.
Matthew Stewart's going to come back in the game to replace Slack. Just under 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter. 50-31, JG by 19. Here's Hippler, a 3, left side, and rattles it in for his second 3-point basket.
Well, it's obvious you leave him with let him get his feet set, and he can shoot it.
Rackley will bring it into the forecourt on the left side for Blevins. Blevins penetrates, deals it. Nice save by Rackley to take it right over the top of Owuha and draw a 2-shot foul inside. That looked like a certain turnover right there.
Yeah, that
Rackley
was a certain turn. He did a nice job of reaching over. Wahoo had his head turned, didn't see where the ball was, and Rackley took it, and able to make something out of nothing. Going to be at the free throw line shooting 2.
Adrian Owuha with his third personal foul. 2 free throws for Drew Rackley. And he is good again. 5 for 5 from the line today. The Muskies have only missed 1 free throw. That was Jay Blevins missing the second of 2 shots back in the first half. 1:30 to play in this third quarter from the Convo. And another good rattled-in free throw for Drew Rackley. He will check out of the ball game with those 3 personal fouls. Coach Greg Woodard will save him with an 18-point advantage.
Yeah, got a little break for Slack. He's going to get Rackley out with those fouls and still preserving some of these legs, a little pressure.
Hippler will get it in to Ryan Peaks. Peaks trying to get around Stewart and Slack and dribbles between them, gets it into the forecourt. Peaks again looking to the left side, baseline shot for Sharoni, and that bounces in for him. Anthony Sharoni, the freshman, with his first points off the bench for DeSales.
Yeah, shooter's touch.
Blevins drives, swings it to Harper, over to Stewart toward the right corner, approaching 1 minute to go here in the third quarter. Still a 16-point lead. Blevins 3 ball. No, it won't go. Slack, another putback, high off the glass and good.
Nice job by Slack, moving without the ball, found the opening, tipped it in, and the pressure's on.
Tanner Slack, his second 2-point field goal, and they have both been huge. Offensive putbacks on the weak side of the glass. Adrian Owuah going all the way coast to coast, beats Tanner Slack to the bucket, and fights his way for 2.
Using a lot of energy as a Wahoo.
Here's a 3 for Weir. No, it won't go. In and out. Slack with another rebound on the other end, and tried to gain it as he got it called for rolling over with it.
He rolled with it, so it's a turnover.
Proper call there by the officials as Slack was fighting tooth and nail to stay on his feet and then not to roll over, and just could not keep his balance in time, but great hustle effort by Slack. 16-point lead, 54-38. Here comes Owuah again with the layup attempt. Won't go. And the putback is good for Caden Sanchez. And Zach Harper called for the foul from behind as he was trying to back Sanchez out on that putback attempt.
Well, I mean, Sanchez just went over the top of Harper. Harper had him boxed out, but he went over the top. Minimal contact. I don't know that it was a foul, but Harper tried to maintain contact in doing so, backed under him when he shot. And that's going to allow Sanchez to get another free one here.
And let's see who they have for personal foul. I think was Zach Harper.
Yeah, it was. Harper was
they have
going
32
up
on the
short.
scoreboard. Sanchez missing the free throw on the 3-point play. Sanchez has 16 to lead DeSales. 54-40 down to the final 20 seconds of this third quarter. Slack working on Leland Johnson. Will give it up to Jay Blevins. 15 seconds over to the left side above the arc for Drew Rackley. Rackley blows around Chironi. Good. And one. Drew Rackley with the bucket and a huge 3-point play.
Is it on the big one? Is it on Big Sanchez? Let's see. Bucket's good. Nope.
Anthony Chironi. First personal foul on Chironi. 4 on DeSales here in this second half. 8.9 seconds to go, and Rackley with a huge 3-point play here to push this lead to 17.
Yeah, Rackley cleared that side out and just went to the hole and actually took 3 of them to the basket, and they took their pick on who to call the foul.
And a free throw swish again for Drew Rackley.
Nice job by Coach Woodard and his staff getting people in, getting them fresh legs and what have you. I think the only one I haven't seen go out is Weir, but everybody else is going out, getting some extra rest here with only 8.9 to go.
And even 20 points now for senior Drew Rackley here through 3 quarters. Across the timeline, Ryan Peaks going all the way to the basket, can't get it to go. Hippler with the follow, off the back rim, won't go, and a huge break for John Glenn at the end of that third quarter. Muskie fans all up on their feet. They smell Columbus in 8 more minutes, 57-40. John Glenn on top of St. Francis DeSales here in this Division II regional final. And Mark Withrow and I will return on 97.7 FM and on the web at yourradioplace.com in just a moment. Back to the Convocation Center in Athens. Adam Green and Jared Jamio running the videos for us on yourradioplace.com. Welcome aboard to our webcast listeners and those of you on 97.7 FM. The Spillman family watching again on the big screen in beautiful New Concord. And a 57-40 lead here at the Convocation Center for JG. Number 1 team in Division II, just 8 minutes away from Columbus. Anthony Chironi is in for DeSales along with Leland Johnson, Ryan Peaks, Luke Hippler, and Caden Sanchez. Chironi drives right side of the paint, swatted away by Tanner Slack, who sends that one to the baseline.
Yeah, and John Glenn very aware of Hippler on that wing that time, covering him up so he didn't have the open three as they penetrated and tried to kick it out.
Sharoni will throw it in from under the basket, getting it into Sanchez. Nice drop spin move. Good defense by Blevins. Can't keep the big fella away from the basket as he just continues to fight his way through and gets contact for another two-shot foul, where he is 4 out of 5 from the line today.
Does a nice job of playing with his back to the bucket. Goes spin move to the hole and then remains in position. Quickly back up off the rebound, put it back up. Missed both shots.
Jay Blevins' third personal foul. Foul number 6 on John Glenn here in this second half, and that will be bonus time for DeSales from here on out. 57-41. The lead possibly down to 15 on this Sanchez made free throw if he gets it, and he does. So pretty impressed with the big fella's shooting touch. He has 18 in the game.
Yeah, and he's good. It's good for the big man to shoot free throws with his back in there. He gets hit, banged around, goes free throw line a lot.
Rackley out high for Austin Blatt. Blatt penetrates, deals a baseline pass to Blevins, swings it back out to the left wing for Drew Rackley with 20 points to lead John Glenn. Rackley drives, finger roll scoop won't go. Hippler with that rebound for DeSales. 7:15 left in the ball game.
Nice
Hippler
look, just didn't drop.
Quickly ahead, stumbling was Leland Johnson for the moment. And then
Turnover.
Slack comes up with a steal on Hippler's pass. Tanner Slack with another swipe. Don't fall asleep there, Mr. Tanner, as he gains possession back in the backcourt and gets it across for Austin Blatt. Blevins along the right sideline in front of Coach Greg Woodard. Under 7 to go here at the Convo. Weird penetrates the lane. Will send it around toward the left wing and bring it back out high.
No need to rush things.
No need to be in a hurry whatsoever. DeSales really seems content to pack in 3 players on the interior defense now, and we'll see John Glenn try to draw them out.
Yeah, see, very deliberate. Nice job by John Glenn, not forcing anything.
Down to the low post it goes for Austin Blatt. Blatt working on Hippler, finds a cutting Drew Rackley, coast to coast. Rackley with an easy one, 22 for Drew.
Nice basketball sense by Rackley, going to the hole while Blatt was moving the ball. Everybody was focused on Blatt. He made a cut to the hole wide open left hand.
And I call that the lullaby offense. They lull the defense to sleep, and Rackley with an easy bucket on the cut. There's a 3-ball for Cerrone who won't go. Blatt with a rebound. Long pass down the floor, 3-on-3 the other way. Slack with the layup. Had it blocked by Hippler, but it's recovered by Drew Rackley of John Glenn.
Nice job on the offensive boards.
Timeout is going to be called by Greg Woodard as Drew Rackley and company had some trouble along the right sideline keeping possession. Greg Woodard will wisely use one of those 30-second timeouts, and we'll take timeout with him. 5:58 to play in the fourth quarter. 17-point lead for the Muskies, 59-42. And we'll return with more Muskie tournament action in a moment. Thanks to our webcast listeners here this afternoon, going 784 logged on right now, pretty close to our numbers from Thursday night. Keeps growing as we go. Unfortunately, this will be the last webcast game that we'll be able to do here in the tournament for this year, but we will have, of course, our Muskie tournament action on 97.7 FM on our radio frequency, and Mark and I hopefully in about 5 minutes and 58 seconds, we'll be in Columbus on Thursday night. And we'll bring you all the play-by-play of that one as well. Thanks again to our crew, Quentin Archer, Adam Green, Jared Jamiel. Super job here again, fellas, this afternoon. 17-point lead. Muskies with the ball after the timeout by Greg Woodard. Muskies trying to preserve this lead and this win here today. And a backcourt violation as Weir got double-teamed up high and fumbled the ball momentarily and stepped on the midcourt line for a backcourt violation turnover.
Yeah, just not a good job of getting the ball in. And what Woodard's saying is that it was tipped around by the defense. But doesn't matter. Here comes, and I like how the demeanor, nobody's questioning the call except the coach. Everybody else is playing.
Leland Johnson over for Luke Hippler. Hippler can't get away from Blatt. Here's Johnson with a deep 3. That won't go. Hippler looks like he crushed Weir in front of him to tap that one outside. Here's a 3 for Awuah. That won't go. Rebound Leland Johnson again for DeSales.
2 offensive rebounds.
Again, possession. Here's a three for Peaks, all alone, top of the key. That won't go. Another long rebound inside. John Glenn is really getting caught too deep inside. Here's Hippler with a three. That rims in and out, and Tanner Slack says enough. And he grabs a rebound and gets fouled with 5:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. Muskies up 17.
You know, real good call there. She's bombing these three-pointers. It's obvious they're going to the three-point shot all of a sudden as they got Sanchez on the bench. And the long rebound, actually, they're too deep with the rebound.
These are going high off the back of the rim.
And, you know, I'm watching Sanchez here at the end of the bench. He's twisted an ankle or something. He's moving around kind of gingerly.
And right now, really, they don't need his services all that much. Blatt driving to the basket, had it tipped away by Peaks, I believe it was. Tried to corral it, can't get it. DeSales with a rebound. Fitz inside, a Wuha with a bucket. Nice look by Fitz under the hoop.
Too easy an effort that time for a bucket. Got it full court.
And a backcourt foul on DeSales very quickly. That'll be the 16th foul against DeSales, so both teams will be in the bonus for the remaining 5 minutes of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, we got full court pressure going to come up here. John Glenn's got to be aware. They're getting the smaller lineup. The game is changing. Actually, it looks like they're working on the big boy's knee. Sanchez at the end of the bench.
Working on that left knee right now. Didn't really see what
I didn't either.
Had happened. He didn't
come out the fourth quarter.
No, it didn't show any ill effects. Here's a long baseball pass down the floor for Drew Rackley. Rackley gets held before he can get the layup attempt up.
It'll be a 1-and-1.
It'll be a 1-and-1 as he fouled him before he got into the act of shooting. And a good foul there by Adrian Awuah, who picks up his fourth personal foul. But Rackley, I'm not going to jinx him by saying it, but he's been very good at the free throw line. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to say that until after this 1-and-1 opportunity. Austin Blatt back to the bench with the 4 personal fouls, and Blatt's done a whale of a job of juggling those fouls here tonight and still being a very effective starter for the Fish today. Another good free throw for Rackley. Drew Rackley now with 15 of his 23 in this second half. And that one's in and out. So his first free throw miss, 8 of 9 in the game now for Rackley. Still a 16-point lead for JG with under 5 to go in the game. And Rackley boots that basketball up into the second row of stands here in the convo. St. Francis DeSales will inbound it from the far sideline next to the scores table. It'll be Adrian Awuah throwing it in. Leland Johnson is in there with Luke Hippler, Eric Fitz. And now, newcomer Kayan Durden. And Hippler with a jump hook in the paint gets it to go. Hippler with his first 2-point basket, 8 points in the game for Hippler. 14-point lead, 4.5 to go.
Well, that's one of the few times the defense hadn't been able to find the ball.
And it's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by Leland Johnson on this near sideline. Jay Blevins will throw it in for John Glenn. Zach Harper will go to the bench, and Austin Blatt is quickly after a quick blow is right back in. 4:30 to play here at the Convo in this D2 regional final game. John Glenn looking for their first trip to the Final Four ever. Rackley penetrates baseline, can't get it to go, and Blatt leaps high in the air over Fitz to get that rebound.
No, and that time Blatt just sealed the defense down on the inside.
Rackley to the basket, and he gets shoulder blocked toward the out-of-bounds line on the baseline, and he gets the benefit of the call. A 1-and-1 free throw opportunity again coming for Drew Rackley as he was looking
nice
to get
penetration. I'll tell you what Woodard's doing is a little offense for defense. They're putting Harper in defensively and getting Blatt out, and Blatt stays in offensively.
5th personal foul on Adrian Awuah, who is now finished in the game with just 6 points. He had 4 3-point shots and 17 points in the Steubenville game in their 20-point win on Thursday night.
Yeah, and he's a fine athlete, but he's just found it really tough going, trying to keep up with Weir and Rackley offensively.
So that is all for Awuah, who has 6 points and 5 personal fouls. Drew Rackley again gets back on the winning mark at the charity stripe, hitting the first of 2. 61-46.
Here comes the big man back in. He's a little hobbled, got his knee wrapped up, left knee, but here he comes. And, of course, they're going to try to establish him.
And he'll replace the other big fella, Eric Fitz. Fitz checks out with 5 points. 4:17 left fourth quarter. Rackley trying to put that lead back at 16. And he does. Free throw shooting has been paramount for John Glenn here in this tournament, and no truer today. Finger roll shot
They drew.
No good for
Poor
Durden.
Tanner Slack went all the way under the, Harper went all the way under the standards.
Rackley penetrating right wing, sends it around for Harper on the high post. Harper will deal it back out to Rackley halfway through this fourth quarter. Still a 16-point advantage for the Muskies.
John Glenn content to run their
Slack trying to dribble behind the back around Ryan Peaks, and then Slack batted that pass away to get the steal. Blevins' shot won't go. Slack with the putback tap, no good, and rebound Ryan Peaks. Here comes DeSales 3-on-2. 3 ball in the corner, Leland Johnson. Off the rim, no. Weir has the rebound for John Glenn. Pushing it ahead 4-on-3. Weir, coast to coast, and blocked by Durden. What a great block that was. And Peaks the other way all alone for the layup for DeSales, 62-48. 3:15 left to go here in the fourth quarter. And no quit in DeSales certainly right now, trying to gain some momentum back. Rackley dribbles around one man and gives it up high near the half-court line for Matt Weir. Back out to Tanner Slack with 3 minutes to go here in this D2 regional final game. Blevins on the baseline. We'll throw it back out high for Rackley as they play a little keep away now from the Stallions.
Yeah, and they're keeping the floor spread, almost a four-corner look, and just going to keep the ball moving because they know they're battling the clock right now more than they are.
Rackley will dribble around Durden, and he'll draw a foul on Durden. That'll be the 19th foul on St. Francis DeSales. And Kayan Durden with his first personal foul. Rackley, the man that for John Glenn that you want at the foul line right now, he is hit on 11 out of 12.
Well, John Glenn as a team is a good free throw shooting team, and so that's why they're not afraid to go into a very deliberate because they have, and again, I don't want to put the jinx on them, if you will, but they've been a good shooting free throw shooting team all year long, and they're going to have to prove it here at the end.
I don't think there's any chance of jinxing that here. It's a focused basketball team, and Rackley nails the first free throw. 11 out of 12 for Drew Rackley at the line, and he's got 26 points in the game. Timeout taken by Joe Bills, and the Stallions are actually taken by Greg Woodard this time, and the Muskies. 2:41 left to go in this fourth quarter. We'll keep it here on this quick timeout. 63-48, Muskies by 15.
Yeah, just a 30-second timeout. I think that time Woodard's just trying to get his team set up, what they're going to do defensively and then what they'll do offensively. I don't know that he wants to necessarily stall the ball. He doesn't want them to get complacent, but, put the dagger in them. You're looking for an open shot. They're taking chances, and they're going to start fouling. And, if you get the open layup, take it. If not, let's go to the free throw line. That's what he's telling them.
Don't forget you folks around the New Concord area listening to us on 97.7 or watching us on yourradioplace.com. Our Wally's Pizza and Subs player of the game, Matt Haynes and Rhonda, sitting just off to our right side. Owners of that fine business in New Concord and Cambridge. Our post-game report coming up in a little while. We'll have our Wally's Pizza and Subs Muskie player of the game once again. 64-48 off the Rackley 2 free throws. 16-point lead, trying to lob it down low for Sanchez. Good steal by Blatt, nearly a save to Rackley, but Rackley couldn't keep it in. And great hustle here to the end here by John Glenn with 2:24 to go.
And that's what they need to do because they have to make, this is still a dangerous basketball team, DeSales. They can get on a run, and it's not time to celebrate yet. We got a lot of basketball.
Absolutely. It'll be Kayan Durden throwing it in from the far sideline. They'll get it in. Durden will pull up a three. That one's well short. Another long rebound again outside. Nice look by Leland Johnson with a slick around the back pass for Caden Sanchez.
Offensive rebound.
Rackley's going to go coast to coast. Finds Blevins. Backdoor pass and bucket for Jay Blevins. 66-50 with 2 minutes to go for John Glenn.
Nice job by
Muskie
Rackley.
fans on their feet. Smelling victory again today. There's a tap out and a near steal by Blatt as he goes flying into the Stallions bench.
Yeah, they hit the 2-minute mark, and John Glenn's starting to smell this state. But the team has not changed expression at all. Very focused on this basketball game.
DeSales in the corner. That's Leland Johnson. Working on Tanner Slack into the big fella Sanchez. Running jump hook won't go. Good box out by Matt Weir. Blatt had it for a moment, nearly gave it right back to DeSales, but a good save for Weir to keep from a turnover. Blatt, his pass deflected into the front court, but corralled by Weir on the sideline. Rackley on the left wing. Rackley dribbles between 3 Stallion defenders, and Muskie fans smelling it now with 1:25 to go. And a grab foul by Durden to send Drew Rackley to the line for 2 free throws here the rest of the way.
Finally,
and it looks like
finally
it's
a
Columbus
smile from Rackley and Slack there, just a little bit. What a great prep team. Kudos to the coaching staff. I mean, these players have not changed expression at all. Good call, bad call, indifferent call. Just a nice effort. Rackley nails it.
Another good free throw for Drew Rackley. 28 in the game for Drew.
18 for 20 from the free throw line, and there goes a big guy, nice basketball player, but he is a sore warrior right now with that knee taped up.
Yeah, Caden Sanchez, a valiant effort today. 20 points unofficially for Caden Sanchez as he checks out of the game. Another good free throw for Drew Rackley, 29. And the Rackley bunch from Arkansas celebrating here in this one tonight.
Blevins got a piece of that.
He did. Blevins got a piece of that. Leland Johnson three-point shot. Rackley lost the handle on it with that around-the-back dribble. Intercepted by Fitz. Here's Hippler, a 3 on the left side. Airballed that one. Leland Johnson with the rebound, and Blevins bumped into him from behind as Blevins could not check up in time. It'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity now with 1:05 to go in the game for sophomore guard Leland Johnson.
1:05 to go, 18-point lead. Looks pretty good, partner.
It is looking good. All smiles on the maroon and white side here right now.
Except the guys on the floor. And that's the way it's been. That's how you have to play. And I tell you, I'm so proud of these guys because they had a disheartening loss last year. Rebound by Slack that time.
Johnson with the miss on the free throw. Slack rebounds. Weir sends it up the floor to Rackley. Rackley gets fouled from behind by Ryan Peaks to prevent the layup. Peaks with his 3rd personal foul. Double bonus here for John Glenn. 59.9 seconds to go. And it looks like an appointment on Thursday night at 8:30 at the Schottenstein Center.
And what a deserving group. I mean, they have really worked hard in the offseason as Mr. Rackley hits the first free throw. A lot of work off-season, during the season. Just great bunch of guys, unselfish, great work ethic.
And another good free throw for Drew Rackley. 31 for Drew Rackley in this game, and a ton of free throws. 70-50, John Glenn by 20. Durden stuck with it out top, had it knocked away, gets it back, goes to the basket, and Blatt maybe got away with the foul on the block shot from behind. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Durden, and DeSales with 47 seconds. Starters out on the floor,
and here
standing
goes
up from the Muskie faithful.
Now let's see if they smile. Surely somebody's going to smile over there. PA, give me a smile. They are. Look at they're spent. They worked their tails off. What a great game plan and effort.
Weir, Blevins, Slack, Rackley, and Blatt all coming off the floor for John Glenn. May Snyder, Justin Haycock, Austin Lowry, Clayton Lake, and it'll be Matthew Meinert throwing it inbounds into the backcourt for John Glenn. Meinert and Haycock, the guards, here in the final minute of this one. Meinert will give it to Haycock. Up the sideline, tapped away, out of bounds by DeSales. Knocked away by Andre White. 38.6 seconds left. Hope you don't have any plans after completing your school day on Thursday, buddy.
If I do, I'll change them. I'll guarantee it.
That pass down low, looking for Clayton Lake down on the block, intercepted by DeSales. Final 30 seconds of this one. 20-point lead for John Glenn, as they are on their way to Columbus to the Final Four for the first time. Air ball shot in the corner by Sharoni. Matt Meinert has it. Splits 2 backcourt defenders for DeSales. Haycock along the left sideline. Final 10 seconds. Muskie bench jumping up and down in celebration. Muskie fans on their feet.
This
3,
is over, big boy.
2, and 1. And it's off to Columbus.
Your final score. John Glenn, 70. DeSales, 50.
And the Muskies off to the Final Four for the first time in school history. And a huge contingent of maroon and white all on their feet here at the Convo.
But they're going to get, they had a second place medal last year. This year they're going to come away with the gold medal. So proud of them, and a great effort by coaching staff and players alike.
Third time's a charm, you could say, third year in a row. Fourth trip here to the regional final in 6 years. Of course, we were back here, remember, with Jake Hagan and that group.
That's right.
About 6 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long already. And then, of course, now with Weir and Slack and Blatt and Rackley in this group, their third trip in a row here and finally clearing this hurdle. Now it's on to bigger and better things once again next week.
No doubt about it. And they're just teams going over here to their fans or student section. They're all in white. Look, these cats, they're fired up. And the players are going to do it with their this is what it's all about. The students over here with the student section, they're fired up.
And giving high fives and low fives to the student section as much as they can there in the end zone. Here at
Harrison
the
over there getting a few pictures and what have you, just a lot of smiles. Yeah, I tell you what, gratifying. I feel for DeSales here because we were there last year, and it just the better team won the basketball game tonight. I mean, John Glenn just out executed, tremendous defensive presence, and you got to give DeSales credit because they went in. To the inside, and they have a very powerful inside game, but that defense just too much for, in the speed of the game, too much for DeSales.
John Glenn, 70, and Columbus St. Francis DeSales 50, as the Muskies will advance on to the Final Four in Columbus on Thursday night with an 8:30 tip-off. Lots to talk about on our post-game report on WILE and on the web at yourradioplace.com. Mark and I will bring you that. Our Wally's Pizza and Subs player of the game for the Muskies, and a look at Division II tournament play around the state. We'll come back on 97.7 and on the web at yourradioplace.com with our post-game report in just a moment.
And now.
John Glenn High School basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med and Whitesides of Cambridge. Since 1952, Southeastern Med has been your community hospital, providing comprehensive, affordable, and patient-centered care for you and your family. Southeastern Med is a proud supporter of our local youth and their involvement in athletics.
Advanced, patient-centered orthopedic care. The precise treatment you need. Because balancing your life is so much easier with orthopedic care right here at home. Southeastern Med, your community hospital.
During the Whitesides of Cambridge March Madness Spin and Win, you make your best deal on any new or used vehicle on the Whiteside lot and then spin the wheel to get an extra $100 to $1,000 cash. You even keep the new huge GM rebates or get 0% interest on select models. How about 16% off select Buicks and even $1,000 in auto show bonus cash on select Buicks and professional grade GMCs. Plus $10,000 off list on a brand new GMC Rocky Ridge conversion at Whitesides of Cambridge. Whitesidesofcambridge.com. Just north of I-70 on Route 209.
And how about a nice end for Wayne Horsley, who's put on a terrific tournament here at the Convo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your attention to the baskets, where the nets belong to the Muskies.
think one was maybe.
Thanks again to Jared Jamiel and Adam Green capturing all the pictures here from this D2 regional final. Quentin Archer at our FM studio, and a 70-50 win here in this regional final as the Muskies finally clear this hurdle here in Athens.
Well, great team effort. They came out. I tell you, I love their demeanor. I mean, even I got a little concerned. Some of the calls I didn't like. No change in their demeanor at all. They continued to focus. Coach Woodard and his staff had a great game plan. Up tempo. They got physical with them. They went to the hole, took the lead, and never looked back. Looks like they pretty much controlled the entire game. We haven't got the final statistics back yet, but as far as the scoring goes, they won every quarter. Did John Glenn? They never let their foot off the gas, and they came after DeSales from the get-go. 5 3-pointers for John Glenn, 3 3-pointers for DeSales. Rebounding, and this is where DeSales really took it to us, especially offensively. 21 offensive rebounds to John Glenn's 9 rebounds. Great free throw shooting for John Glenn. They shot the ball 21 for 23, which isn't a bad shooting percentage at all. I mean, just a great overall team effort by John Glenn High School.
Another 90+% from the foul line effort, 17 of 19 on Thursday night. They do just a little bit better in this one tonight, 21 of 23, most of those coming off the very trusty hands of Drew Rackley, 16 of 17 at the line for Drew.
And that's what you've got to do. Those points are all those points are just they're just very, very. I'm trying to get the coach, if I can get a eye contact. We'd like to get Coach Woodard up here to talk to us. Of course, he's busy celebrating, as he should be, with his team members. Yeah, we'd like to talk to the coach. That's Mr. Rackley's up here. He's all smiles as he's had a couple of state championship with his other sons, and now Drew's going to go to the state with an opportunity. And so it's just a lot of celebration going on here at the Convo, and rightfully so. There's a lot of happy people here.
Absolutely. We'll take another break here in our post-game report. We'll come back. We'll have our Wally's Pizza and Subs player of the game for the Muskies as John Glenn wins it by 20 over St. Francis DeSales. Back in a moment from the Convo in Athens. Attention. Mark Withrow, Dave Davidson back on 97.7 FM and on the web at yourradioplace.com. And right now, head coach Greg Woodard meeting with some of the other media. We'll have Coach Woodard up here, I think, in just a matter of a few minutes or so in our post-game report. That was a pretty good effort there, partner. You got JV coach Paul Eric's attention right there. That was from the opposite end of this Coliseum here. That's pretty good.
Kudos to Paul because, I mean, they're down there celebrating. They've just done a wonderful thing here, and he was able to hear my big mouth. Like Tommy Strasser, I believe, said.
Yeah.
A big game.
He was right.
He was right. So, but, I mean, of course, the coach is being swamped by the press right now, and kudos to him. I mean, the cheerleaders, these young people are just having a blast out here. They brought the goals down. They've got the nets around their neck. It's been absolutely wonderful. So,
and our congratulations again to all the Muskies. Head coach Greg Woodard, assistant coaches Paul Eric, T.J. Mitchell, and Heath Dodson, all of the crew. Super job by this coaching staff and this group of seniors here especially, and all of the role players on the bench for John Glenn.
Well, you know, you were here. We were here last year. Disappointing defeat, high expectations, came away a little short. And we were out in that parking lot with all of them, and boy, they were determined, walking around, talking to one another, kind of encouraging one another, just kind of a quiet confidence. And this is more than just a basketball game. I mean, these guys have been working ever since last year's disappointing defeat, and I feel so happy for them because a lot of hard work has paid off, and they've done a wonderful job coming back here. And they dominated the game here in the regional finals. So, the sky's the limit as they go to the first team in John Glenn history to go to the state basketball tournament, the Final Four. And wow, they've set history. Now all they can do is add on to it.
Absolutely. Our congratulations to all of the Muskies and coaching staff. Time now to take, while we've got a moment before our next break, we'll look at our Wally's Pizza and Subs player of the game for John Glenn. Since 1978, Wally's family-owned business has been serving pizza, subs, and great salads worth leaving home for. Enjoy their pizza or a sub here tonight and every night. You can stop in New Concord down on Main Street or give them a call at 826-1234 and get your order in for everybody should have their appetite here in Muskie Land tonight for sure, and really no doubt about it as to who our Muskie player of the game is tonight.
Well, to me, they're all players of the game, but I mean, when you look at a guy that scored 31 points, had control, hit 97% of his free throws. I mean, Drew Rackley is our Wally's Pizza player of the game, deservedly so. He's had a lot of accolades, and selfless player. Does a nice job, definitely the bell cow of the team. He and Weir make up one of the best backcourts in Slack. Those guys, I'm just so proud of them. But Drew Rackley's going to be our player of the game. Led them to a regional final and hopefully on. And the people down in Arkansas, his family, they ought to be just tickled to death. And, they can't jinx him now. They can come to the state tournament and they can watch him in person.
Yep, absolutely. 70-50. Final score here again from the Convo in Athens in the D2 regional final as John Glenn will go on to Columbus on Thursday night for an 8:30 tip-off at the Schottenstein Center. More to come in our post-game report on WYLE and on the web at yourradioplace.com when we return in just a moment.
Let's just do one more 30 here. I've got a chair for you right here. Let's slide over. I'm going to put you guys on camera. I want to see this.
Dave Davidson and Mark Withrow back to the Convo in Athens. We're talking with finally victorious regional final coach Greg Woodard. You can finally exhale here for a little while, Coach. I know it's been a painstaking process here for the last several weeks, especially.
I tell you what, an emotional roller coaster. Not just the last week, but the whole year. I'm really, really proud of our kids for a lot of reasons. And I think number one is we didn't make it a secret what our goals were. I think a lot of time in life people will set goals, but they keep themselves in fear of failure. These kids wanted their goals known. They've been battling a lot of pressure this year going into the expectations were, I don't even know, realistic at times on how they expect these kids to play. In a big stage here tonight, finally got it done. So New Concord, we're finally going to Columbus.
I know it's a relief. Got off to a good start here in this one tonight. I thought that was, maybe, it's kind of forgotten, when you get to the second half and the end of the game. But I thought the start that you got off to really, maybe took some of the pressure off early.
Absolutely. I mean, in these type of games, getting off to a fast start is important. And this group is probably the loosest group I've ever had. I'm a nervous wreck. Hadn't slept real well in quite a while, but this group has just got some poise about them. You like to think a lot of that's just being here before, but like I said, just so proud. I'm happy for our community. What a great following we had. I mean, I don't even know what looked like 10-1 as far as New Concord in the fan section. So again, just a lot of things going through our head, but number one is who's next? Who's next? That's who we got to think about now.
How much do you think that the last 2 years with the failures in the regional final, do you think that's played a part in with this senior group here especially?
Well, I think the experience of being here. I joked with the kids today when we come in. We went to a different locker room. I told them, I said, I think I've been in every locker room in this facility now. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but obviously I think being here, being in this situation the last couple of years was a big advantage for us going into. And you got to tip your hat to DeSales. They went through kind of a meat grinder schedule to get here. They're young. I think it's a team. They're really well coached. I think that's a team that's going to be reckoned with next year.
I'll tell you, Coach, at last year, the disappointing loss here in the region, and, Dave and I were out there with you guys, and there was disappointment, but there was just a resolve that went around to the kids and you and coaching staff. And just speak the amount of work that you guys went through in the offseason, the preseason, the schedule to the thing. I mean, it's got to be just gratifying as can be.
Well, the number one thing when we left here last year is we wanted to put our kids in as many adverse situations as we could, and that started with just our summer. Our open gym schedules. We went and scrimmaged Dayton Dunbar. We went and went to 2 different team camps, and we played the absolute best talent we could play. And then our scrimmage schedule was phenomenal this year. We were fortunate to get in against a lot of D1 schools that a lot are still in the tournament. So we tried to, and these kids just kept answering the bell. I mean, it was almost as a coach not realizing maybe how good we were, but. To play 5 guards all year, the Sanchez kid was a load for us tonight. We didn't match up, but, we just hope we could keep him intact enough to be able to get over the hump. And, again, tip your hat to our kids. They play with a giant heart today.
Well, and I'll tell you what impressed me probably the most. Of course, you guys impressed me all year long, but the thing impressed me the most today, there were some calls that I got to tell you, I don't think I was very professional on the radio that I didn't like and stuff. And I saw you down working the officials, and you were animated, but the kids never changed their facial expressions. They were locked into this basketball game.
Well, I'll be honest with you. We addressed that way, way, way back in the earlier in the year. I can't remember what game, but it was early. We had 3 technicals in a game on reacting to calls, and basically we went home and had a little skull session or running session, whatever you want to call it, on this is not how we behave and this is not how we act and react to calls. It affects our team. And I told him if anyone was going to get a technical, it'd be me. And I agree with you 100%. There was a few calls I thought for a regional final game were not very good.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But fortunately for us, our kids hung in there. And we were able to get it done.
Boy, and the free throw shooting, my goodness. I mean, good basketball teams have to shoot free throws, and you shot something like 22 for
21 for 23.
Yeah, exactly.
And, but we've been a good free throw shooting team all year.
Yes, yeah.
We got good shooters. We do, and that should mean you're a good free throw shooting team. So, again, every kid, whether it be the first guy or the 12th guy, every kid has brought something major to this team. Can't be more happy and more proud of all of them.
I think that, one of the questions coming into the season, as the season has progressed and so on, it was how would John Glenn react when they get, into tougher tournament competition when you're facing 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". I think you answered a lot of those questions here tonight.
Well, every game is going to create a different problem. Or, I thought it was interesting tonight because they typically start 6'8", 6'5" in the post, and they went small to match up with us today. So when they had both big kids in, and then they got a 6'5" wing kid who, didn't he remind you of Jake Hagan?
Yes.
I mean, ringer for Jake Hagan as far as his athleticism and his ability. I just think we overwhelm people's guards, to be quite honest, and we can do a good job of maybe not letting them throw it into the post. But the next game's going to bring another challenge, and we'll try to do the best we can to overcome that challenge.
Outstanding. We're going to Columbus.
And
Finally.
I guess, finally. And, just looking, you're going to face the winner of Ottawa-Glandorf and Bay Village winner, and that game's going to be played at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yep, and trust me, we've already seen both those teams a couple times, and we'll see them again tonight. So we'll be prepared. That's one of the things that we try to put our kids in good situations, and we'll have them scouted the best we can. And, again, we're not going to change what we do. We're going to do what we do, and if it's not good enough, we'll come home. But right now it's been good enough.
And St. Mary's won again, so you guys are on a collision course. And
I hope we see them.
And I do too. I do too.
Congratulations on the win, a regional championship for the first time ever in school history.
Yep. Thanks for your support this year. You guys have been great.
Absolutely. We'll see you in Columbus Thursday night.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Greg Woodard, head coach of the John Glenn Little Muskies. Our congratulations in this regional final win here at the Convo in Athens. Final score, 70-50. John Glenn defeats DeSales. And Mark and I will be back to wrap things up from the Convo in Athens when we return in just a moment.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you so much.
Well, let's run them all.
Okay.
Yep.
You're a little excited about that. Oh, I am. I am very excited because we got a good team, too.
Yeah. Mark Withrow and Dave Davidson here at the Convo for all of our webcast listeners who have been with us here for the last, what's it been now, Adam? 4 games? Yeah, 4th game now, 2 in Zanesville and 2 here in Athens. We want to thank all of you for tuning in. We had just over 1,000 on Thursday night. We had over 850 of you clicking in on us either on computers or on smart TVs or whatever you're watching us on. We appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Hope you enjoyed the pictures. I'm sure you did. Jared Jamiel running the camera, and Adam Green, kind of the video engineer on site here for all of this here. Those two especially did a tremendous job. Quentin Archer are running our audios for us back in Cambridge. Really, it takes a pretty good crew, sometimes a bigger crew than usual, and what these guys have done here in the really with a lot of equipment and a few hands, they've done a really super job. A lot of preparation has gone into bringing the video webcast to you, so hopefully this is going to be a regular thing. And these 4 games, the 2 in Zanesville and 2 to here in Athens, were a trial run for us, and so we appreciate everybody tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed it. And thanks to Adam Green for limiting the FaceTime for Mark and I.
Amen.
It was a little too much in that first one there, as probably some of you have already noticed. But we appreciate everybody tuning us in. We won't be able to do this in Columbus, remember, but we will have all of the play-by-play audio, of course, on 97.7 starting Thursday night. Dave Davidson and Mark Withrow here at the Convo in Athens, and a final goodbye here, and we leave finally with smiles on our faces here, approaching the end of the high school basketball season. 5 down, 2 to go here in this OHSAA Division II tournament.
And the thing that's great is very capable, too. We're very capable of going 2 more, Just kudos to the coaching staff. Thank you, Coach Woodard, for coming up, taking the time, breaking away from your celebration to talk to us. They're going to be on the road going to Columbus or wherever to watch their next opponent play tonight at 7. The kids, it's wonderful. The people on simulcast, it was fun. The staff that puts us on is unbelievable, like you said. And, hey, we're going to Columbus, man.
Absolutely. Excited as can be. Final quick rundown of the individual stats. First for Columbus DeSales, Caden Sanchez, the big 6'8 junior. He was a force tonight. He finished with 20 points and 14 rebounds for DeSales. He was the only double-figure scorer for DeSales tonight. Luke Hippler, the man that Coach Woodard described as kind of a Jake Hagan-type player. Really, John Glenn did a fabulous job defensively on him. Just 3 of 10 shooting, 8 points, 8 rebounds for Hippler. In his 29 minutes of work. 6 points for Adrian Awua with 3 of 8 shooting and 4 rebounds. 5 points for Eric Fitz, 5 rebounds, and 4 points and 3 boards, along with 4 assists for point guard Ryan Peaks. But the big number there, 7 turnovers from Ryan Peaks. So you know that those John Glenn guards that Greg Woodard said, certainly they won the guard matchup
well,
here
and
today.
Don't forget, Wahoo fouled out. So,
yep.
I mean, there was a lot of pressure put on those. I'm telling you, 2 of the best backcourt with Rackley and Weir in the state. They come out and they put pressure defensively and they attack offensively. It puts a lot of pressure on your backcourt.
And as far as I know, for the first time on the John Glenn side of the ledger, the first time this season, no bench points. No points off the bench for Coach Greg Woodard. Didn't need him today. Drew Rackley was our Wally's Pizza and Subs player of the game. He had a tremendous game, 31 points, 16 of those coming from the foul line, so just over half of his point output from the charity stripe as he shot 16 of 17 from the stripe, 31 points, 9 boards, 3 assists for player of the game, Drew Rackley. And our congratulations, our Wally's Pizza and Subs player of the game. Matt Weir with 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 of 12 shooting for Weir in his game-high 31 minutes of play. Jay Blevins finished with 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 block shots. Really, Blevins was kind of that kind of the glue that kept everything together here today. Of course, we usually say that about Austin Blatton. He did the same. He did his usual thing as well, but Blevins was really key at certain points of this game.
Well, I'll tell you, all 5 of them the starters I'm talking about, and even the bench players, they didn't score, but little things they did, keeping bodies on people, scrapping for loose balls, getting the 50-50 balls. And you're right, Blevins did a lot of things other than score to win it, but there's a lot of kids that did that. The bench players came in, and they had to use Harper and Stewart. They had to use them early on because of foul trouble. They came in and they played minutes. And you got to have that without losing too much. And, they didn't relinquish their lead. They won every quarter. So a lot of things done without the ball. Rackley did a lot of things with the ball, as did a couple others. But, there's a lot of playing off the ball that brought in this win. Their composure was paramount.
Absolutely. Tanner Slack, another example of that, too. 7 points, 7 rebounds for Tanner Slack.
Boy, and how many times he tipped the ball free?
Well,
to get a loose ball.
Yeah, several for sure. 2 steals and a block shot for Tanner Slack, and he was big today as well. And Austin Blatt, I'll tell you what, this kid he's just a tireless worker out there. Battled foul trouble again all night long, really, and probably his first 3 personal fouls. You and I agreed. We're questionable at best, and played with 4 personal fouls. Still managed to play 21 minutes in this game tonight. Contribute. Without losing anything.
See, now I think he's the guy. He is a gutsy guy. He's undersized by a foot, easy. And, but he's bodied up with these big guys underneath, and he came away with an awful lot of loose balls.
He did. 5 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist, 1 steal for Austin Blatt here tonight, who just worked his tail off again. And another, like you said, 2 of those bench players, but the one in particular, Zach Harper, the 6'3 junior that you said worked his tail off. 2 block shots, 2 rebounds in his 14 minutes. No points, 0 for 2 for shooting. But again, 14 minutes of play for Zach Harper. I'm going to guess that is at least a tournament high, I know, in minutes played for him.
Well, and you're bodying up against 6'5", 6'5", 6'4", 6'8". I mean, those guys, that's who they're rotating
right.
in. And, they're in there, and you don't want to give up a whole lot. So I kudos just – but, the thing, their expressions never changed. All the way down, all 7 they played. I mean, just – woo, nice effort.
It was. Matt Stewart, 7 minutes of play time tonight, picked up a rebound, 0 for 4 shooting, had a couple of open shots. Normally he knocks those down, but did not here today. And again, thankfully they didn't need his points here tonight. Matt Miner, Justin Haycock, Austin Lowry, May Snyder, and Clayton Lake all in that final minute of play for John Glenn. So, again, the Muskies, for the first time ever, on to the Final Four in Columbus. That game will be an 8:30 tip-off from the Schottenstein Center. Game 1 will have Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. They already won their game today over Cleveland Benedictine. So St. Vincent St. Mary is now 25-3 on the season. They advance on to the Final Four with a 53-40 win over Benedictine, and they will play the winner of the Kettering regional final.
Yeah, Cincinnati Taft at 22-5 is going to take on Cincinnati Aiken at 24-4. That ought to be a war. That's at at Kettering Fairmont High School, and that tip-off is hard. It's underway, and we haven't got a score on it, but
they should be close to finishing here by now.
Yeah, exactly, and so that's going to be interesting. And then we go over to the lower bracket. Ottawa Gondorf, 21-5, is going to take on Bay Village Bay, 23-3. That's at Bowling Green State, and that is a 7 o'clock tip-off, and that's where the coaching staff is going to be going tonight all the way up to Bowling Green, and they'll be watching that contest and getting a scouting report and game plan together over the weekend so that they can hit the bricks running Monday and prepare for their first state championship, first state Final Four ever in the history of John Glenn High School.
That's going to be really sweet. So Mark and I will be with you on the FM dial. And again, we thank all of our webcast listeners logging in. We had 1,000 on Thursday. We had over 850 of you again today. Thanks for everybody tuning in to yourradioplace.com. We appreciate all of that. It was a very successful webcast run. Adam Green, Jared Jamiel, super job here on site in Zanesville and in Athens for helping to produce that. Really just a top-notch effort by those two guys. Quentin Archer in our FM studio will be back with us again on Thursday night for our audio broadcast. Of course, remember, we won't be able to do video because of the television network stuff, but certainly 97.7 WILE will be there. Mark and I will be at the Schottenstein Center on Thursday night with our airtime around 8:15 on Thursday evening as John Glenn will be in the Final Four facing either Ottawa Glandorf or Bay Village. The winner of that one decided here later tonight at about 9 p.m. For all of the gang here at Athens, Adam Green, Jared Jamiel, Quentin Archer back in our studio. Super job, and we all say thank you. Mark Withrow and Dave Davidson will be back with you on Thursday night. And we say goodnight from the Convocation Center in Athens. Final score once again, John Glenn 70 and St. Francis DeSales 50. Have a great weekend, everybody.
John Glenn High School basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med and Whitesides of Cambridge. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports. Since 1952, Southeastern Med has been your community hospital, providing comprehensive, affordable, and patient-centered care for you and your family. Southeastern Med is a proud supporter of our local youth and their involvement in athletics.
Advanced, patient-centered orthopedic care. The precise treatment you need. Because balancing your life is so much easier with orthopedic care right here at home. Southeastern Med, your community hospital.
During the Whitesides of Cambridge March Madness Spin and Win, you make your best deal on any new or used vehicle on the Whiteside lot and then spin the wheel to get an extra $100 to $1,000 cash. You even keep the new huge GM rebates or get 0% interest on select models. How about 16% off select Buicks and even $1,000 in auto show bonus cash on select Buicks and professional grade GMCs. Plus $10,000 off list on a brand new GMC Rocky Ridge conversion at Whitesides of Cambridge. Whitesidesofcambridge.com. Just north of I-70 on Route 209.